And we are recording.
Hello.
We're back.
Back.
I don't want to do this.
Don't then. Just
We're
get
back.
straight in.
We're back, people. We didn't die.
No, but it felt like we were going to.
We were going to be back earlier, but we had another frank rescheduling.
Yeah. I was tired.
I always bite my lip. I thought you were going to a patio.
I did.
A tired patio?
Well, I came back about 9. I was fucked.
How are you feeling?
Yeah, I'm all right. I'm back to normal. Jet lag is pretty much over. We had a good trip.
We had a good trip to the UK.
We watched 5 games of rugby.
5 games.
Yeah.
2 surprise games.
2 bonus rugby games. So we watched a lot of rugby. We watched the Challenge Cup, the Champions Cup, and we watched Exeter Harlequins, Danny Care's last ever game.
Danny Care.
Which was a decent game.
Danny Care. Yeah, the one thing about the Harlequins Stadium that I didn't like was those fucking seats were
they're
tiny.
children's seats, aren't they?
Like, you're squished in there.
You are. Yeah, and I'm not a huge. I'm a smaller than average man, I would say.
I like the atmosphere that the smaller stadium brings.
Yeah,
because it was packed.
It was packed. It sold out.
Fuck, it's packed.
Yeah.
I almost didn't want to sit in my seat.
Yeah. No, you didn't. You didn't come back after half time. My dad, who was with us, asked me where you'd gone. I thought you were just in the shop.
I was eating some kind of duck wrap thing that I bought, and then I was just sitting off
traditional Harlequins duck wrap.
Yeah, and I was just sitting off to the side watching the game. I was like, "Oh, this is way better here."
Yeah. I do like doing that, but then a steward will come over and be like, "You can't fucking stand there."
That's what they did.
Yeah, they do.
That's exactly what they did.
Yeah.
Are you comfortable over here? Yes.
Yeah.
Are you having fun over here?
Yeah.
Yes. Get back to your seat.
Yeah, they do that. Yeah.
It's like, you fucking.
It makes sense because everyone wants to do that, but if they let everyone do that, it would be chaos. Which is why Cardiff is a great stadium, because they've got the stands, like you can just stand up, which I really like.
But the best rugby we watched was free rugby.
The Papa John's Community Cup.
Did you bring it up? Did you Google that at all?
I did.
Did you? You got it up there?
Yeah.
The Papa John's?
To be fair, so this deserves a little story, doesn't it? So me and you landed in Heathrow on a Saturday. And we're staying in Twickenham, as in the neighbourhood.
Yeah.
We went to Twickenham. It was a 5-minute walk, because we were going to buy some shit.
And just take a look at the stadium.
Just have a look.
Because I wanted to see it with my own eyes.
Right, yeah. And we get there, and there was a team warming up. They looked serious as well. It wasn't they weren't fucking nobodies, were they? They looked serious. And then there's maybe 1,000, 2,000 people there. There's burger vans and a bar, and there's an atmosphere. And we go up, and the lady's like, "Come in, it's free." And we're just sort of full of post-flight energy. And we sat and watched 2 excellent games of rugby, didn't we? The mighty Lutterworth versus the dominant Topsham.
That was a game.
It was a fucking game.
Yeah.
It was really...
Those boys wanted that Papa John's cup.
Yeah, they did.
So fucking bad.
Free pizza for
the year. It was so back and forth. It was just everything you wanted in a rugby game.
It was. They both looked hungry. It was the best game of rugby we saw.
This is the most surprising thing when we were walking into the stadium.
Yeah.
The volume of the crowd.
Yes.
You would swear that the stadium was full.
That surprised me, because I think there was maybe 2,000 people there for that, which is a great crowd for a community game, right?
Yeah.
A community final. But the way it echoes around the stadium made the atmosphere feel really good, didn't it?
And the cheering and everyone wearing like the supporting kit of the teams.
Yeah.
You wouldn't find anything comparable to that in Canada.
No, you wouldn't.
In any amateur sport in Canada, there will be no instance where you would see like just thousands of people coming to watch some amateur sports club play in a championship.
Yeah. There are some good reasons for that, not least that Canada's fucking massive. And this is an English final, and both of those teams could drive to London within a couple of hours. So that's a big deal. But yeah, you're right. Like it reminded me, and we talked about this, the community game of rugby is alive and well, clearly, in England, which is a good thing, which is a really good thing, right? Because people are talking about our grassroots is dying. We watched an excellent high-standard game of rugby sponsored by Papa John's.
Let's make sure Papa John's.
Yeah, we've got to shout out Papa John's. That was fucking random, wasn't it? But yeah, it was good. It was the best game of rugby I watched, honestly, because it was so competitive. Both teams were hungry,
Yeah. And the hunger was one thing. The crowd really brought you into it.
They did. They were up for it.
Yeah, and I was just so impressed by everything.
Yeah. It was good, and it was a great way to start the.
We got off the plane. Was that the game with the fullback? I think he was playing for Topshin that kept doing the tip up with his toe to catch the balls.
He did it about 5 times, didn't he? The ball's flying in. Instead of catching it, he just kicks it up to himself. And the first time, everyone's like, ooh. And by the 5th time, everyone's like, get him in a fucking England shirt. Like, it was this kid. Like,
there was some talent. And that was like the second div.
It was.
And I was like, fuck. If either of those teams were in Edmonton here, they would destroy fucking everyone.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
And they have proper teams with like proper locks.
Yeah.
Like the guys are the proper sizes.
That's the thing. They're the right size.
For the positions.
Yeah.
And you're just sitting there and you're like, oh, I was so jealous.
Yeah.
I was so, because like the clubs, like, just to watch the guys were the proper size for the positions.
Yeah. I
was like, fuck.
But then we watched the second game because they were like, there's more rugby, stay around. And we did. It was Huddersfield in Yorkshire and Oundle, which is in Leicestershire. And that wasn't as close.
No.
Because Huddersfield, their players didn't look the right size.
Oundle or Ondle?
Oundle.
Oundle?
Like hound without the H.
Oundle.
Yeah.
When they came out, their team was fucking massive.
Beefy.
And when you saw the Islander boys, when they had Islander boys, I was like, oh, they're fucked.
Yeah, and Huddersfield come out and everyone is the wrong shape for their position.
They're all like fucking like, and they were smaller. They
were significant, but they gave it a good go. They were up for it, and I think even the Huddersfield fans who we were sat around were like, yeah, we're going to lose this game, but we're happy we're here. So it was fun, wasn't it? It was a good community day of rugby, I had a great time.
Just having free reign of Twickenham like that was nice.
So they went for a pint with my dad, and on the way back, we took a piss in Twickenham just because it's still open.
We just stopped in
for
to
a
take
quick
a pee.
Piss in Twickenham.
Like, oh, you guys want to come in for a pee? Yeah, we need to take a pee.
To. Yeah.
Thank God there's a bathroom here.
Yeah. So we should talk about professional rugby like we normally do, but that was a great way to start the trip, wasn't it?
I don't know. I think we should redesign the podcast for the Papa John's Community Cup.
Yeah, honestly, I was impressed. But then we should say the next day we went to watch Harlequins, Exeter, in what we thought was a dead rubber game. It was a good game of rugby, actually. Marcus Smith scored a bit of a solo worldy try. David Jenkins in real life is massive. The size of an actual van.
That was the most surprising thing of the game.
Yeah.
I knew he was a big guy, but he's a big guy.
The thing that surprised me, I know he's tall, but he's wide, isn't he? His back muscles are fucking massive. He's a big lad.
He's all lats.
He's all lats. He is all lats.
He is all lats.
Yeah. Danny Kerr's last game, we talked about that a little bit, but it was a good game of rugby, actually.
I'm surprised. Like, did you see Danny Kerr make that tackle on the sideline there?
Where he just kind of got ran over, but held onto a leg.
And he he plants his feet and whips his arms out to the side to make this tackle.
Yeah.
And I was surprised that a professional sets up for a tackle like that.
Yeah.
I was like, ooh.
Worked though.
It looks like what a guy does when he first starts playing. Yeah. But he made the tackle.
He made the tackle.
Yes, but I was just kind of surprised by that technique.
Yeah. But it makes you realize, doesn't it? They're all human. Mm-hmm. They're all human. And this Danny Kerr is a celebrated in England international. He's called Wales, no small amount of fucking heartbreak. But there he is doing a feet planted tackle. And
then we get to Cardiff.
Yeah.
And that's when the rugby kind of took a dive for me.
I'm not going to lie. I had a great trip, but the 2 Champions Cup and Challenge Cup finals were not the worst bit about it, but the biggest letdown.
I just kind of felt that Leon wasn't playing in a championship game.
No.
I felt like they just didn't care.
I never
felt like 2 teams were playing 2 different tempos of rugby.
That's right. That's
what I got out of that game.
Yeah, I agree. And I think from minute 1, you knew Bath were going to win. There was just a way they played, the dominance they had.
Yeah.
And Finn Russell didn't have a good game.
He's does first, thinks second.
And the speed at which he does things is impressive because he catches the ball, drops it onto his foot and kicks it in a split second. And athletically, that's so fucking impressive. But you're right. It's like he doesn't think.
He's not afraid to just fucking do some crazy shit.
And when it works, it's amazing. And when it doesn't, he looks like a fucking idiot. But he didn't have a great game. And they still won convincingly, didn't they?
Yeah.
Despite Sam Underhill flying headbutting a guy and several other dangerous high tackles from Bath,
I also didn't like how when I went to Millennium Stadium, I wanted the roof to be closed.
It was.
And it was.
Oh, right. So
I was like, oh, sick. Yeah. But then it was fucking so hot in there.
It was humid, wasn't it?
It was super humid and hot. Yeah. And I was uncomfortable. And both games had the roof closed.
They did.
Yeah. And I was just like, fuck, it's humid in here. Don't they have air? Do they have anything going on in here? Any kind of airflow or some shit? Yeah, it was super stuffy and moist. I was just moist in there.
But the UK was like that all week because it was hot, and I've never seen weather like that in the UK. It didn't rain. It rained for about 5 minutes on Friday.
The whole time we were there.
That was the least amount of rain I've seen in 10 days in the UK ever.
Yeah.
So that was miraculous.
And then you get to the Champions Cup final.
Yeah. What did you think?
I thought that game went exactly how I thought it was going to go. Except, I thought Northampton were going to get creamed.
Yeah, you did.
But they had enough fight in them to like keep a game going.
I'm happy they gave us a game.
But I was never in a position where I felt that they had what it took to win that game.
They didn't. They did not have the... Even, I actually thought Northampton had a clearer and better executed game plan. They just weren't fast enough.
They weren't fast enough.
They were not fast enough.
You could see the difference. When they had the ball, they just couldn't get that ball out wide enough fast. And then when Bordeaux had the ball, that ball was everywhere.
It was.
Wherever Bordeaux wanted the ball, they were putting it there.
Yeah.
And there was a huge difference. Like they just had access to all their players in the back line.
Yeah.
And you can just see the writing on the wall. But to be fair though, that score should have been wider. So fair play to Northampton.
They kept, and I thought Bordeaux were going to outmuscle them as well as outpace them.
And
Northampton were as physical, if not a little bit more physical. Yeah. So good for them, you know. Yeah,
the forward packs I thought were pretty good, evenly matched.
They were. The scrum had parity for most of the game.
Yep. It was just, how do I put it? There was a lot of fuckery in that game though.
Well,
there was a lot of ref fuckery. There was a lot of just player fuckery in that game. That kind of like hindered Bordeaux. Bordeaux were taking a lot of risks.
Within 4 minutes, Northampton had taken 3 injuries. None of them were dangerous, by the way. It was just physical, right? And who was it? Furbank got a knee to the head pretty early, and it was brutal. And it was accidental, obviously. But there was and the ref did miss a couple of really early things. So within the first 10 minutes, and we were sat around some Northampton fans who were loud and drunk and frankly kind of annoying, but I was sympathetic with them for about the first 20 minutes.
Come on, ref. Don't you got fucking eyes, ref?
Yeah, all that kind of shit. And but to be fair to them, that first 20 minutes, I was thinking, Jesus, could you get worse luck? Because the ref missed 2 or 3 big things that went Bordeaux's way. Northampton had 3 pretty serious injuries within 4 minutes. And I thought, whatever chance you did have is gone. So fair play to them for staying in the game. They did have some bad luck. I don't think they would have ever won that game because when you see Penaud and Biel-Barré with the ball and the way Luku controlled the game, it's cliche to say it, but seeing them in person was a privilege, wasn't it? Because the way they move and the energy Biel-Barré has, he's everywhere all the time, everywhere.
Louis Big Belly Barry. He, after that game, he is the total package winger.
And he looks like a 10-year-old.
Yeah.
How does he do it?
He's fucking all over the field.
He wasn't even playing out wing most of the game.
Like, Penaud's good.
Yeah.
When he's got the ball in hands, he makes magic happen.
He does.
But he is nowhere near as involved.
No, he's not.
As Biel-Barré.
No, like, Penaud's a true winger. Biel-Barré is just, give me the ball, I'll make shit happen.
Center, he's in the fucking center of the field.
He was smashing rucks. Yeah. He was doing everything.
He's like all over the place. He was incredible.
He was, really impressive.
Like, that's the total package winger you want.
Yeah. So, no, Bordeaux were very good. And in a way, I'm glad they beat Toulouse because some of the injuries Toulouse have got. But Bordeaux are the new kids in town in France, aren't they? It wasn't some fluke that they beat Toulouse. That was a convincing win, and they absolutely deserved their place there, you know?
And you got... what you have, too, is you have the Luku, who controls the game.
He does, yeah.
And then you got Jalibert that's like all over the place, just doing random crazy shit.
Yeah, Luku's the daddy of the team, isn't he?
He's the daddy that lets
his kids run
Jalibert
around.
just do crazy random shit.
Yeah, that's right.
And there's a lot of teams that don't have that.
Yeah, that's right. I think it's a French rugby thing recently. Is like it's almost like they don't have a plan, but it works.
I wonder if that's like... I was thinking about this the other day. With DuPont versus Luku. Yeah. Because DuPont's a crazy fucking player.
Oh, he's a nutter, yeah.
And he's doing random shit.
Rarely passes from the base, just picks it up and runs around a bit first, you know?
And then having him there and I wonder if that's why you don't see DuPont play with Jalibert. Yeah. Because they're kind of the same kind of like off the wall, in the moment kind of player.
Yeah, you can't have 2 Mavericks at 9 and 10.
So that's why you have like DuPont and Antamac, because Antamac is like more controlled.
Yeah, he's more of a George Ford, isn't he?
Yeah, he's steering the ship while DuPont is like doing like just fireworks.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's why you don't see. So when I watched Bordeaux play, it kind of made sense why you don't see DuPont and Jalibert play, because I think Jalibert's a fantastic 10.
Yeah.
Right? But sometimes I even think he might be better than Antimac. That's debatable.
I know. I actually think he is. I think he is.
He did have some bad. He kind of missed some kicks though in the Bordeaux game.
Yeah.
But I can see how in that 9-10 pairing, you have to have the control and the chaos.
Yeah.
You have to have the balance of the control.
It's true
and the
though.
chaos.
Like there's so much young, exciting talent in France. It's almost a problem because you've just got a bunch of excited, ADD, chewing on Haribos, listening to ska music kids, who are all excellent rugby players. But you do need a daddy in the team, don't you?
Yeah, you
and
need
that is
daddy.
Luku.
Yeah.
And if it's France, it's someone like it's one of the guys in the pack. Someone like Aldrit is your listen, kids, this is what we're doing.
Because remember there was rumors that DuPont didn't want to play with Jalibert.
I did hear that. Yeah.
Yeah. After watching that game, Champions game live, and watching like Jalibert and Luka play together.
Yeah.
I could totally see why the coaches don't want to go for a DuPont Jalibert.
Yeah.
Because they're
both
mavericks.
doing the same thing, They both want the ball as much
Can't
as
have
possible.
two Finn Russells on the field.
No. Because, a good 9 or 10 actually doesn't have the ball a lot unless they're making a little break, right? Like they're just distributing and they're good at distributing. And like when you think of DuPont, you don't think of obviously he distributes a lot, but rarely passes from the base of the ruck.
No.
And he's not like Jameson Gibson Park where he's at the ruck, it's out, at the ruck, it's out.
Yeah.
That's not his style.
No.
And the same for Jalibert. He'll go for a fucking run, won't he?
Yeah.
You can't have two of them. So, but France rugby is extremely fucking bright and I'm kind of jealous actually.
It's happening.
It is.
It was good seeing all the fans there.
Yeah. Yeah, the French guys were good time.
People wearing different club jerseys all over the place too.
There was a lot of plainclothes Leinstermen.
Oh yeah, a lot of sad Leinstermen.
Yeah. Do you know what was funny? The amount of Munster fans there.
Yeah.
That was a bit like...
A lot of Munster jerseys.
That was a bit... I don't want to say arrogant, but like, did you all book your ticket as soon as they came out, guys? Like,
We're going.
Were you that confident? Like, or did you just want to see good rugby, which, fair play if you did.
Oh, we're going to talk about Munster soon here.
We are. We better talk about up-to-date rugby, eh?
Yeah, let's take some up-to-date rugby. So all the leagues are starting to come to a close. Super Rugby is going exactly how Super Rugby always goes.
Yeah, I was sad about that, by the way. I was hoping the Australians were almost in a position to do some winning.
Yeah.
Because they were beating the Kiwi teams a little bit earlier on in the season, and now they're just back to... Everything feels back to normal with Chiefs and Crusaders dominant.
You know what the surprising thing, too, was when we were in the UK and we were talking about the British and Irish Lions.
Yeah.
There was quite a few people that thought that, Australia have a chance in this.
I think they'll win a test.
Oh my God, Frank,
yeah,
no
I think they'll
way.
win the first test. I do.
There's not a fucking chance in the world.
I think, I think that New Zealand Australia super team have a better chance of beating the Lions than the Australians do.
That's the game of the Lions tour.
It's overshadowing the tour now in a way.
Yeah, because
it's
that's
more
the
exciting
game that
than
counts.
the tour itself. Yeah, it is.
Yeah, this is the game that counts. This is the game that the Lions need to win.
And it's kind of a level playing field because it's two teams who've been thrown together full of rock stars.
But the thing that's going to happen is the Lions, that game comes in between the test matches.
Yes.
So the Lions aren't going to put out the full strength for that one.
Oh, if I'm a
that's a midweek game in between two.
But it's a game I want to play in if I'm a test starter because I'm playing against the best in the world. If I'm a really competitive player, I want to play in that game now.
Because the game Australia, British Lions is on the Saturday, July 19th. On the Tuesday, they play the
combined.
No. Oh, it's the first game. It's actually the week before the first test match is the New Zealand 15. So they might actually put out a full squad for this, actually. I thought it was in between, but that's the First Nations and Pacifica 15 game.
Which I think also...
That'll be a good game,
too. It will
too.
be a good game. This is how Australia are going to win a test. Attrition. There is way too much fucking rugby in this tour.
I feel like these Northern Hemisphere guys are used to this.
Yeah, I guess so. But this is their summer holiday. This is where they're supposed to be...
resting.
Playing golf or on a beach,
And then in the Gallagher Premiership, top 4 has been solidified.
Yes. No one's touching that.
Bath, Leicester. Leicester came in second place. Sale and Bristol.
Yeah.
I think this is kind of Bath is the team.
Yeah. The way they took apart Lyon. Yeah. I don't need to say a lot about that. I think everyone who's watched the Premiership more than I do knows I think Bath will win that.
So, but knockout rugby is always knockout rugby.
Yeah. I mean, Northampton proved that against Leinster, didn't they? Mm-hmm. Anyone can beat anyone. I don't know, I don't know.
But this weekend, we had the URC.
Which I do know
The knockout games.
Which I do know about, yeah. I watched, I think I watched about 2.5 games of rugby for the URC playoffs.
I watched every one of them except for the Glasgow Storms.
That's the one I didn't, it's one I didn't watch. Again, Glasgow have surprised me. Feels like they were tapering out at the end of the season and nothing was going their way. A lot of injuries, but now they look like they could win it again, maybe.
They are the most inconsistent team this year.
Yeah.
Hands down, they are all over the fucking place.
Yeah, they're a bit of a fucking nightmare team to be a fan of, aren't they? I'm glad I'm not.
I would not want to be a fan. Like it's stressful. It must be stressful.
Yeah, it must be.
There's a couple teams that are fucking stressful.
Oh yeah, not least fucking Cardiff, but that's not relevant right now.
Where the fuck are these fucking knockout stage games? I'm trying to bring them up on the internet here.
Do you want me to tell you about them?
Well, I want to bring up the stats for them, but I can't bring them up anywhere. This is fucking stupid. Hold on a second here. Got to bring them up here so I can have the stats for these games. Okay, here we go. So we had, and what was the score for the Glasgow game? It was
36-18,
and that was in Glasgow.
Yeah, it was.
So home field. Franco Smith's like, I wasn't surprised.
We are playing great at home, yeah. Is it South Africans just don't travel well, especially the Stormers, or are Glasgow just inconsistent? It's both, isn't it?
I think it's a little bit of both.
I think it's both.
I think if you put that game in Cape Town, it's a different story.
Yeah, I agree.
The Stormers don't, like, the South African teams just don't. I would like to see the total stats but from perception wise, they don't travel well. All four of those teams do not travel well.
The thing is, right, most teams will obviously win more home games than away games. If you look at France, it's almost 50-50. And in fact, with some teams, it is literally 50-50. They win all their home games, they lose all their away games. So to a degree, we don't treat the South Africans fairly because we don't just call it an away game. We say they don't travel well because when we go to South Africa, we know there are factors except for the travel, i.e. the altitude and then the heat. So away games in the URC where South Africa are involved aren't just away games. They're a whole other thing. Is it just that away games are hard to win? It might just be as simple as that.
Well, in general, in all sports, away games are hard to win.
That's what I'm saying, right? But we kind of put more pressure on the South Africans.
I think it's just a lot more factors for a South African team or a team going to South Africa. There's a lot more piled on the plate.
That's what I'm saying. It's actually harder for a South African team to win away from home. But people criticize them. They're like, why can't you win away from home? And what I'm saying is, look, not many people do. And they've got it harder than most. So maybe we should give the South Africans a little bit less shit about it because it's not easy to do anyway, and B, there's climate factors and travel factors that we don't have in other leagues in the same way, right? Like when Argentina were in Super Rugby, it was the same deal, and people were very aware of it. Like they've got a 14-hour fucking flight. Like of course they're gonna have a less.
But there's a team that went to the championship
and they got better, but
second season.
And Stormers aside, we will have 2 South Africans in the URC final now. At least one in a final.
Yes, at least one in the final.
And now we've got 2 in semi-finals.
I'm still pretty convinced the South African team is going to win this year.
I think the Bulls will win this year. I'm pretty convinced of it. Yeah, because if we segue onto Scarlets Leinster,
yes, neither
of those teams will trouble the Bulls. Would have troubled the Bulls based on that performance.
No, it
Scarlets
was very
obviously
not. The Scarlets looked like they were just a little out of their element, and Leinster looked tired.
They looked
unmotivated.
I think Scarlets did a good job of making Leinster look human. If I'm going to give Scarlets some credit, I think Costello outplayed Prendergast at times, which is a surprising thing to say. Because as much as I hate on Prendergast, he should be
tender grasp.
I didn't say that. I texted you and I read a comment. Someone called him Sam Tendergrasp, which is the best comment I've read all week.
Fuck. You know what? His career is gonna get destroyed.
It's on the. It's yeah. He's
nosediving.
Yeah.
It started really. His defensive liability.
It's a big fucking
is gonna
problem.
destroy his career.
Doesn't matter how good you are, everything else. He just can't tackle. Yeah.
And a lot of points like leak through him.
Whether this is true or not, he's getting a reputation as the ultimate armchair 10, right? Because he's playing in the best club side ever assembled, and it's making him look good. And we don't actually know how good he is because all we see is shitty defending and, yes, some talented distribution and kicking. But what does it mean when your pack is always going forward, right?
Because there's no doubt that coaches and everything, they see a high ceiling with him.
Yeah, definitely.
There's evidence there.
Yeah, there is.
It's just that his defense is going to destroy him.
It's not just bad, though, is it? It's not just like when Marcus Smith or someone like George North, you'd criticize the defense, but don't worry, their attack's good and we can work on it. His is that bad. It's a liability for a successful team.
It's so bad that it's a liability.
Yeah.
Because teams will just target the shit out of him.
And they did. Northampton did it.
Which is weird because how he plays, when he has the ball in hand, he puts his body on the line.
I don't think he's scared. I just think his technique is terrible.
I think he's a little scared.
Maybe.
The way he tackles, the way he goes into contact.
Yeah.
The most convincing thing for me, the most breaking point was when Henry Pollock ran past him.
Yeah.
When he had all the time in the world to
and
get in front of him.
And he didn't even get in front of him, yeah.
No, and he had all the time in the world to get there, at least get in front of him, and he was like, nope, not today, Satan.
What I'm saying is, I don't think he's scared of physicality, because like you said, when he's got the ball, he's not scared physically. I think the pressure of missing the tackle is making him scared. I'd agree with you in that sense.
But if he had the pressure, if he was scared of missing the tackle, he would put his body in front of the line of fire.
Maybe.
And he doesn't do that.
Yeah.
And you know who puts his body in the line of fire?
Marcus
because
Smith.
He's scared of not making the tackle.
Who's that?
Marcus Smith.
Marcus Smith, yeah.
He will put it, like, he gets fucking ragdolled in games.
He does.
But he puts his body, he'll stand right in front of a truck.
Yeah. And that's the same as Sam Costello. Say what you like about him, he's not scared. Because I remember that Fiji game, he came up black and blue.
Yeah.
Because he put in that. Same as someone like Cam Winnett, little tiny anemic boy who's 10 years old.
You're exactly.
He's
Cam
not
Winnett.
scared, you know?
Cam Winnett, I've seen him, like...
get abused, basically.
You saw someone running at him, and you're just like, rest in peace.
Yeah.
Right? And his little frail, little anemic body.
Victorian schoolboy body, like, doesn't give a fuck.
Ragdolled.
Yeah.
And Sam just doesn't put himself in a position to make a tackle at all.
Yeah.
He's trying to, like, basically slow this player down.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Yeah.
He's doing shit that you see here in Canada from, like, high school players.
And it is a Leinster problem as well, because you watch that Bordeaux game and the way they use BLBRA, this is the modern era. You can position your 10 differently in the defensive line if you want to.
Well, they do try to hide him.
They do try to hide him.
Yeah.
But there's, you can even put him on the wing defensively if you want to, right?
That doesn't work. He was on the wing line, and Henry Pollock just fucking danced. Like, didn't even dance around him. He just ran straight.
Yeah, because And
then Prendergast, tender grasp.
Old tender grasp.
Which it pains me.
Yeah.
It's so sad because... Fuck, he's great.
Yeah, the worst thing is right now, Leinster bought Snyman and Geordie Barrett so that they could make sure what happened last year and the year before didn't happen again. They wouldn't choke. They've already done it once this season. Mm-hmm. And now I can see the Bulls beating them because they will play Prendergast instead of a Burn Boy. And it'll backfire because the Bulls they won't just target him. Every single guy with the ball, they'll run at him, right, with the ball. Right, they're not going to be scared of him. Right? Just destroy the kid, and that his confidence is obviously creaking, and he's young. And I don't want to shit on the guy too much because you want him to have a good career, right? You want him to have a good career, but like at this point, he's going to be a liability for what should be Leinster's perfect season, right? Mm-hmm. So yeah, we'll see. But I thought Scarlets actually did well, as good as they could. I saw the lineups man for man, and I thought there's 3 positions which are definitely in Leinster's favour, but when you saw the bench, you were like, they're not going to win that. Mm-hmm. So I thought it was a good effort, but I don't think Leinster are going to bother the Bulls if they meet. I think they're playing Glasgow, aren't they?
They're playing Glasgow.
Yeah.
Glasgow could take this.
They could, and now Tui Pelotu's back. That's a different story.
This is going to be a hard match.
It's going to be a great game, I think, if Glasgow will live up to it.
It's going to be a fantastic game.
But let's not forget what happened last time Glasgow met Leinster. 68-0, was it?
Ooh, they're going to want
something
some
like
fucking... They're going to want some revenge.
Of course they are, but are they capable of it?
I feel like there's teams that like Leinster are just not afraid of.
And Glasgow's one of them.
They're just like, they go into these games with 100% confident they're going to win.
Yeah.
And then when they go into against a team where they're unsure,
yeah,
that's when they start to crumble.
And
they're like a big confidence team.
And that tells me that Leinster are too structure oriented, because the teams they lose to are the teams they can't predict almost. The unknown fact. It's not teams they're familiar with. It's when they come up against a team like Northampton, who they haven't played in a while. They don't know what to expect. They can't plan for it as well, and they get shocked. Right? They're too rigid. Sorry, it was 52-0. Yeah. Glasgow Leinster.
Another game in the weekend that was very similar to the Leinster Scarlets was Bulls Edinburgh.
Yeah.
Edinburgh put up a good fight at the beginning.
Yeah.
Looked good.
Yeah, commendable. Yeah.
But then the strength and the depth of the Bulls.
Yeah, that bench, that physicality. Yeah. Yeah, it was very similar, wasn't it? It was very similar.
When they started, the Bulls came out, they're just pounding protein shakes and testosterone.
Eating their braais.
Yeah, and just went out there and just fucking cooked them.
They did. 42-33 to the Bulls. Yeah. Edinburgh scoring 33 points against the Bulls shows Edinburgh meant business, because they had a bit of a ropey end to the season. They clearly thought they could push to a final. If you're going to score 33 points against the Bulls in South Africa, good fucking effort. Good fucking effort. But yeah, I never thought they were going to win. And then the absolute horror show of the weekend, Sharks Munster.
Oh, this game fucking made me so upset.
Because I actually tuned back in when I heard there was a penalty shootout. Because I gave up because I actually went out shopping. And then about half time, heard there was extra time, was looking at the text updates. Then I saw shootout, and then I found a dodgy stream on my phone and tuned in.
I stopped watching.
You couldn't handle it.
I couldn't handle it. When I went to extra time, I was like, I can't handle this. I'm already so upset that it's extra time.
Yeah.
Because I felt the whole game, because when I was watching the game, I felt the whole game. The Sharks were going to win this game.
Right.
Because Munster are on a lot of survival mode in this game.
Yeah. And throughout the season, to be honest.
Yeah. But they kept scoring points.
Yeah.
They kept getting opportunities, and they took it. And I was like, oh, and then they're ahead.
Yeah. 21-10 at one point.
And their defense was amazing.
Yeah.
But it was a lot of, I was like, they can't keep this up.
It was too much energy.
And then it was getting close to the end.
Yeah.
And then I started believing.
Yeah.
It's like, maybe Munster are going to pull this out. And then they tied it up.
Yeah.
I turned it off. I was like, I can't watch this. I can't watch this anymore. It's stressing me out too much, because I'm a big Munster fan. They're my favorite team.
Yeah.
And so pissed off at this game.
Yeah. We'll get to the controversial thing in a minute, but Conor Murray nailed pretty much a 50-meter kick to tie it off. And it felt very Munstery. I actually really respect Munster this season, because they've had a lot of problems with injury, with coaching changes, and they've stayed in the fight, and they've done that in a really brave way a lot of the season. Someone like Conor Murray really exemplified that. I really did want to see Omani, the old war pig, get to a final, so I am sad Munster lost this. But when the shootout happened, and then the drama happened with Hendrikse being a little piece of shit, you know what I'm talking about?
No, because I didn't watch it.
So Hendrikse goes up to take his shootout kick, takes it, and then he lays on the floor with cramp, right? And yeah, it's hot and humid. It's been a long game. If it's understandable you'd have cramp in those circumstances. Everyone else is a lot more pissed off about this than I am, but it is. And he just lays there flapping around while Jack Crowley has to come up and take his kick. And then it starts to feel like gamesmanship. And then he winks at him. Laying on the ground, he winks at him as if to say, I'm just fucking with you, you know? And then obviously every Munster person, and actually everyone else I saw online, was like, you dirty fuckers. That's how you win the game, through a little act of gamesmanship like that. It wasn't what won
to
it.
Throw him off?
To throw him off, I think. Just to be in the way, just to be a piece of shit. Because he had a medical team just stretching him out, and he was just laying there like he couldn't move for a while. Good on Jack Crowley. He nailed his kick, but everything about it felt dirty, you know?
Oh, that is fucking greasy.
It is. He's greasy.
See, that's why I didn't watch it, because that would have fucking overcharged me.
It would have ruined your day, I think. It would have ruined your day. So the Sharks are nobody's team going into the semi-final.
So fucking greasy.
Yeah, it was greasy, yeah. But the Irish-South African rivalry just got notched up a bit, which I'm happy about, because it's always funny.
I like this. I like these the two clashes between the two nations.
Yeah.
It's good.
Yeah.
Is it good for the URC?
No.
No.
Not shit like that. Not,
Yeah,
rivalry is good.
Rivalry is good, but I don't want the URC to turn into this like which South African adjacent team or Irish team are going to make it to the final.
Oh, I'm less worried about that.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
I want other people to feel that I'm wrong about that.
Yeah, I know you do. And I know you mean that. I know because you're a good troll, actually. You've got good trolling ability.
Thank you.
I know that isn't a troll. I know you genuinely mean that instead of trying to wind me up, you know. I think that...
Thank you very much. I really appreciate that.
Yeah, I thought you'd like that. You know, I think in about 5 to 20 years, Wales will get better. Scarlet's giving Leinster a game in a quarterfinal.
Yeah.
For the Welsh right now is a big deal.
Yep.
We'll take it. It's a big deal.
I thought that should have been Cardiff.
Of course it should have been Cardiff, but you know, we're doing Cardiff things in the background, like losing our fucking financial backers. And I think Scotland are onto something good in terms of a recipe they've condensed their resources in the right way to make sure that they're reasonably successful. And Glasgow are obviously evidence of that. There's two Scottish teams, both Scottish teams in the playoffs is as good as they can get right now. And it'll get better.
They're just good with...
They're efficient.
The Scottish teams, for having two teams, for having a really low player pool.
Yeah.
They're just good with their money.
They are. They're efficient and smart with it, right?
They're smart with their money. They make a lot of good... They bring in a lot of good talent.
Yeah. Because let's be real, Sione Tuipulotu does feel like a project player.
He is a project player.
Yeah.
He was a guy that has Scottish background, but they notified that and they got him.
Exactly.
So that's good on Scotland.
And boy, did it work.
Yeah.
Fucking hell, that guy's amazing, you know?
Just the scouting they have over there is actually... You got to give more credit to the scouting.
Yes. Yes, you do.
Because they're finding international talent.
Yeah.
In like the depths of all these other countries,
and
bringing
they don't
these
have
guys
to
over.
Wait 3 years and polish them up. Like they arrive ready to jump into a Scottish team.
Who's not on the New Zealand radar? Who's not on the Springboks radar?
Yeah.
This guy.
Yeah.
Well, that guy's great.
Yeah. Duhan, good example of that. Yeah.
Because there was I saw an article not too long ago about Bundy Aki.
Yeah.
And it's like Bundy Aki, the center that the All Blacks missed out on. Did they?
No.
Bundy Aki is not an All Black.
He's not. He doesn't play like
an
All Black.
He doesn't play anywhere near like an All Black.
No, he plays like an Irish centre, which is a good thing.
He wouldn't be fucking looked at.
Yeah, no, he wouldn't.
Same with James Lowe.
Yeah, Bundy Aki is not fast enough to be a New Zealand
James
centre.
Gibson Park.
Yeah.
He's great. He's good, but his style is not an All Black style.
And you have to give credit to the IRFU because I was actually when I was sad the other day about Welsh rugby, I rewatched the Scarlets beating Leinster and Munster to win the 2017 Pro 12. In that Leinster side, Jameson Gibson Park is there, looking kind of average, and he has been the last 2 years the best 9 in the world. And you have to give the system credit for that.
He's been playing a lot of rugby, and he's an older 9.
He is. Yeah,
his age is starting to catch. The miles are catching up.
Yeah, yeah.
Which is scary for Ireland because they're
about to do a Wales, lose all their talent at the same time.
They're about to lose 3 players that are aging out.
That they fucking rely on.
Yeah. Gibson Park.
Yeah.
James Lowe.
Yeah.
And...
Mani.
Well, or Bundy Aki.
Right, okay.
So those 3 project players.
Oh, I see, yes. Yeah.
Hands down. Ireland relies a lot on now. And they're all 3 of them are in their mid-30s.
Yeah.
I think James Lowe is 33, maybe turning 34 this year.
Well, they're all over 30, aren't they?
Yeah. And so you're now, and for a winger, that's pretty old.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. And Ireland have never produced a lot of good wingers, to be honest. You know.
No, they have.
They get Stockdale, who was never the full package, and then you have someone like Tommy Bowe, who was excellent, but he wasn't known for his speed. He was more of a big winger, wasn't he? They like a big winger. Then you had Keith Erling and Andrew Conway twins.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Keith Conway.
Yeah.
They were the same player.
Yeah.
Basically. Yeah. That's a scary point. But back to Scotland. Yeah. They're smart with their. They've just been smart with their money and they're picking the teams.
Yeah.
And they've been lucky with some of the natural talent that they've gotten.
Yeah. Finn Russell is a once in a generational talent. Yeah. Someone like Hugh Jones is
Blair Kinghorn.
Yeah. They've definitely had some. Darcy Graham even is.
Darcy Graham.
There's been some excellent guys. They kind of had a bit of almost a Diet Wales 2008 era where they just had a lot of good talent come through at the same time, right? But to go back to the semis now, I am not worried. I think the URC is finally a good competition for me to enjoy. You know, I am enjoying it. I have hope that all of the nations, including Italy, because Benetton is still flying the flag, are going to have better representation, and it is a competitive league, except for the Dragons. Even the Dragons have a higher ceiling than they let on. Even the Dragons are capable of winning some fucking games.
So we have Glasgow, Leinster. What do you call for that game?
It'll be in Ireland.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck, that's difficult. I think Leinster, because they know how to win. They know that if you've beaten Glasgow 52-0 in a high-stakes Champions Cup game, that gives you so much confidence, but they won't underestimate them either. Glasgow have started, despite that win against the Stormers, they have tapered off in the season. Yeah, it's Leinster for me.
Bulls, Sharks.
Bulls, yeah.
I'm going to go Sharks for that one.
Okay. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised, but Bulls just for me.
Sharks have the team that should win.
Oh, that's the crazy thing. If it was any other time, I would say Sharks. But if you just showed me the team sheet, I'd be obviously Sharks. That's the Springboks. That's just the Springboks. But something about pulling on a Sharks jersey, they forget they have won several World Cups. Apparently, you know, they just forget. You know, because So I think we'll see a Bulls Leinster final, and I think the Bulls will win it.
Sharks and Leinster.
Yeah.
And that would be in Ireland.
The neutral venue.
In a neutral venue.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's where I don't think they have a URC final place. I think it goes by whoever's highest seed gets home advantage.
Oh, okay.
So if Leinster do beat Glasgow, they will have. I think the game will be in Dublin.
Yes, you're right.
Which will be this might be Leinster's year.
Yeah, I mean it's. If Leinster win the USC,
they have to win this.
It's already a bad season for them, though, isn't it?
It's such a letdown, isn't it?
It is a letdown, right? Like, you know, you scrape past the Scarlets, you've lost to Northampton.
There's too much money to lose these games.
And, you know, it's good that you have high standards, but you should have, the way you breezed through the regular season to choke against Northampton says it all. Says it all, 100%. You know? And for me, that has to get in their head, you know. They are going to be... This is a letdown of a season if you're a Leinster fan, I think. You know, you should have won that Champions Cup. Because, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if they'd have beaten Bordeaux, because Bordeaux were impressive.
And that's all next weekend.
It's all next weekend.
In other news,
yeah.
I want to get into something that was coming up while we were overseas that I wanted to talk about a little bit. News that came out, Wales losing a team. What's going on with that? Any new development? What's your insiders saying?
Yeah.
What's your Welsh insiders saying?
My ear to the ground.
Yeah.
Because we were in Wales.
Yeah.
When you were chatting to my friends in Cardiff, did anyone seem worried?
No.
No, we're not worried. We're not going to go down to 3 teams. I put money on it.
So where did this come from?
So the WIU are tired of waiting for the Ospreys and the Scarlets to sign their new agreement. In the agreement, they get several million more pounds a year, which would be great for everyone. However, the WIU have kind of done a U-turn. When they took over Cardiff, a few weeks later, they said, actually, in our new system, it will be one team gets more funding than others. We will do an Ireland-style system. We will be creating a Leinster Light in Cardiff, right?
Which is good.
I think it's good. Of course, I think it's good. But I understand why the Scarlets and Ospreys would be like, whoa, that's not what we discussed. That's why they're dragging their feet. So the WIU pulled out their trump card and said, well, you know, we'll serve notice to you guys then. And the truth is the regions don't have power in that relationship. They are like charities, not like businesses. Because they always talk about, we're independent businesses. You're not, though. Most of your revenue comes from the WIU. And as much as the WIU are badly managed lunatics who are destroying Welsh rugby, if you take all that away, the emotion and the politics, for me... You've got to push this agreement through, right? You have to. Like, we've got to get on with it, regardless of whether you like it or not, because that is not a partnership of equals. Like, the Scarlets and the Ospreys are not mega businesses making deals and on an equal footing at the table.
And dealing.
It's like, can we please have a lot of money? And the WIU goes, we're changing how we give you that money, but you still get more. And they go, well, we're not signing it then. It's like, you don't really, as much as I sympathize with you don't have any bargaining chips here.
What a fucking spoiled child thing to do.
I don't think it's spoiled child. I get where they're coming from.
No.
But, like...
We want that. We want to beat Leinster. Well, fucking
yeah. We're too tribal in Wales. It'll be fine. Everyone will get more money. There won't be a region cut. There'll be lots of arguing.
What do Ospreys expect? They have 12 fans.
Yeah. And at least Cardiff pack out their stadium.
Yeah.
But at least if you're going to objectively...
Which is nice.
Yeah,
it's nice to see it.
It's a nice stadium, isn't it? You know.
Where we met that American guy.
We did.
He was loud.
He was loud. You could tell he was American, couldn't you?
You could tell he's American right away when he started talking. He was basically yelling at me.
Yeah, yeah. We met some characters, eh?
Your buddies are just like, how did you know that he was American?
Yeah, because we could hear him a mile away. But yeah, I'm not worried about it because everything's already a mess. I think bigger news for me is the Japan tour announcing the squad that's going to Japan. Matt Sherritt is still an interim coach. I think they missed a trick. I wish they had actually announced the head coach so we could start bedding things in. But we really have to beat Japan. We really have to beat Japan on this tour because we have got nobody going on a Lions tour.
Yeah, you got the whole squad.
Got the whole fucking squad except Jack Morgan, who's comfortably our best player. Mm-hmm. But despite that, we should beat Japan. We really have to beat Japan.
I would really take this Japan tour to really experiment.
But there's normally yes, but now we have to win a game. We have to win a game.
I think they have the talent there to do that. Right. You know, thank God they have Eddie Jones in Japan. He's just gonna he's gonna go to like a high school and a junior high, and he's gonna start throwing some kids in.
Yeah,
right? Yeah. He might throw someone's wife on the field. You know, it's like.
But yeah, because Japan have been poor.
Because he's complete fucking chaos.
It is chaos, and he's trying to. Yeah, he's got some long-term plan, which is bizarre. But I wouldn't underestimate Japan. You know, Wales shouldn't underestimate Japan.
No, at this stage they shouldn't. But I would still try to find. There's some positions that they really need to settle in. They need to find the person that is that position. Yeah, I think they should take this tour to do that and just to enjoy some rugby.
Yeah, we need to enjoy our rugby, don't we?
Just enjoy some rugby.
Yeah, just go to the onsens and have a good time. But yeah, don't worry about Wales. We'll be all right. It's just going to be a while.
Another thing, some news.
Yeah.
We talked about this the other podcast. Remember that you brought up that Run It Straight?
The Run It Straight.
So a guy died.
He fucking died.
Died doing this.
I shouldn't laugh. It's actually sad. Yeah. In a way, you know, stop doing it. Stop fucking doing this. It's stupid. It's like that episode of The Simpsons where all the Homer Simpson brothers run at each other with pans on their head. That's what you look like.
Exactly.
You look like fucking morons, you know?
It looks hard. It's dangerous as fuck. And it's got to be the most dangerous contact competition. Yeah. I don't know the regulations. I don't even know if it's regulated at all. They're doing this in school fields. And this guy that died, this wasn't an official Run It Straight thing.
No, I think it was a community one, not a televised.
Club that was doing it and having some fun.
It's so stupid. But what caught me off guard was I'll read the news article how it's devastating twist after Run It Straight death. Twist, as if this is a surprise. As if this is, I really don't want to be disrespectful, but like, this is such a fucking stupid thing. This is bound to happen, you know? Like
when you look at the videos of Run It Straight, you go to the comment section and you'll see a lot of one type of comment. Oh, I remember when rugby used to be hard.
That's the vibe, isn't it?
Yeah. But then people died.
Yeah.
People died. A guy died.
Yeah.
Right? This is why the game is changing the way it's changing.
Yeah.
So people don't get fucked up.
Yeah. 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 And that's what it feels like, doesn't it? It feels like rugby purists, in heavy quotation marks, are pining for the days where rugby was just about beating the living shit out of each other.
Yeah, and it was a mess.
It was a mess.
If you watch a game from just the 90s...
Yeah, guys coming out pissing blood from all over their face.
The game's messy, and you could tell when you watch a game... When I was watching, like not too long ago, I was watching some old like 90s games. Just watching it, being a North American, I can see why this game didn't pick up. It was like
chaos.
Just not off the. It's just complete chaos. It looks like one of those like fringe sports. You see on like a TV show. It's like weird sports from around the world, you know. And there's like a bunch of rugby players, and then they throw in a fucking bowl, just like you know.
And it's almost like no one knows who they're throwing it to.
Yeah,
everyone's offside all the time.
Yeah, it's just all over the place. The guys are wearing these baggy shirts and like they look funny.
There's just mud strewn up. The pitch doesn't look well looked after.
And the guys are smaller.
Yeah,
right. And generally, this like. If you look at Run It Straight, these guys are huge.
They are fucking monsters.
And when you got those guys like running at each other, shoulder charging each other, like it's you get a position where someone's gonna fucking die.
We were sat in that Champions Cup final, and they scrutinized every decision. Right, every try was looked at, and so if I'm a rugby purist, I understand the complaint there. I understand that we're not talking about scrum slowing the game down. We're talking about TMO and referee analysis slowing the game down. I get it. I understand it saps momentum and joy out of the game. But going back to the days where you could scrape a cleat across someone's eye and you could just get in a fist fight without consequence are done. And thank fuck. Run It Straight is not coming back to rejuvenate some kind of missed physicality. Rugby is way more physical than it has ever been.
The players are bigger and faster and stronger.
You know, they did a study on a tackle at a professional level. It is equivalent to a car crash. Every single one is equivalent to being in a fucking car crash, right? This game is way more physical than it was in the 90s, so we have to be careful, right? And Run It Straight is just it's not bringing back some masculine thing, you know?
These guys have like top sports scientists working on their bodies to make them at peak level. Yeah. Like the guys in the 60s and 70s, like if you look at the hardest fucking rugby players, like the hardest men, if you look at the list of them, these guys are fucking playing rugby. They're hard as fuck.
Oh yeah.
Right? They're
tough,
dangerous
man.
as fuck.
Yeah.
But after the game and for the rest of the week, they're fucking chilling out, smoking cigarettes and drinking beers. Until the next game.
That's right.
Right?
Yeah.
They don't have
They probably don't go to the gym.
No, they have they don't have top nutritionists and the edges of science working on them to make their bodies peak performance.
Yeah.
If that was happening, some of those guys would have been fucking like serial killers on the field. But
it's worth reminding people as well, rugby hasn't been professional that long. In the 60s and 70s, you weren't allowed to practice. It was frowned upon. So when New Zealand started getting ahead, everyone was like, guys, stop them. They're practicing, right? That wasn't that long ago, right? Rugby is, and you talk about that footage of rugby in the 90s and it looks shabby and unprofessional because it fucking was. It was unprofessional, right? Wales and, we didn't go professional until basically the late 90s, really. Mm-hmm. So it's not that long ago. We're still getting used to it. So let's not fuck around and kill people in the meantime, you know?
What's going to be crazy is that all this, all the negativity around the game and what's wrong with the game, everyone in charge is just going to be like, we got to get rid of the scrums.
Yeah.
I don't think they'll fucking talk about
Yeah,
those scrums got to go.
Yeah, because that's the thing that's slowing us down, right? No, it's too much refereeing at the wrong time, basically. So,
but we're coming into the leagues are ending. We got championship games coming out the wazoo.
Yeah.
The Lions 2 are happening.
Yeah.
We got a busy summer.
What more could you want? There is not a weekend anymore. There's maybe 2 weekends in a year where it feels like a slow rugby week.
This summer is going to be a busy summer of rugby.
Yeah, and you think next year isn't going to be like it's all rugby calendar is packed.
I got to warm up my seats. My couches.
Yeah.
You got to warm it up. Got to get it all ready for. I got a lot of rugby watching. The thing about this Lions tour, these games are going to be fucking. The times for these games where we are going to be a little bit brutal.
Yeah, they are.
So like 4 a.m. Oh, I guess all the Lions games are on at 4 a.m. over here.
That's awful.
Except for one that's 1 p.m.
Okay, well, I don't mind that.
Yeah, so I can do these games. 4 a.m.'s not that bad. I thought it was gonna be like 3 or 2:30 in the morning. 3 o'clock. That's pushing it for me.
Oh, 3, yeah. Yeah.
Because now
that's usually my bedtime. So.
Yeah. So. Yeah.
Anyway,
we're back.
We're back. Talked about a lot of rugby.
Rejuvenate. We're gonna change the podcast. We got big plans.
Yeah. Well, I'm excited to talk on this pod about a Lions tour because we've never actually done that.
No, we haven't.
Except we've also never talked about Wales winning a game of rugby. So hopefully that happens as well.
Yep.
We will see.
We will see. All right, friends. Thanks for listening to the podcast. Sorry for not being gone for 2 weeks. Like and share the podcast, and we'll be back to our regular scheduling. Thank you.
Thank you.
Frank, you got anything else to say?
No.
What happened to your bye?
I don't. You mocked me and I stopped.
Your bye.
Simple as that.
I destroyed it.
You did. You killed it in the cradle. You monster.
Hey, cheers. Have a good one, folks.